Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be entertained, enlightened, and educated about men, men's secrets, and dating advices decoded as we dive into another episode of Men's Secrets Exposed podcast and show. Hello, lovely listeners. Welcome again to a brand new episode of Men's Secrets Exposed podcast. We are getting your dating questions answered, secrets about men that you have. We're decoding all of that, trying to make this easier for you lovely ladies out there and some of the men that's listening in. We have, occasionally I'm allowed and granted the lovely opportunity to bring in a female co-host to chime in and give some different insight on some of the things we're discussing, so that way she can give a female point of view and also represent the female team, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome our co-host today, Miss Chase. Go ahead and say hello to the audience.
Hello.
All right.
Hello, yes, my name is Shellee, and I'm very excited to be on this.
All right. So, Chase, tell the first-time listeners or the new listeners a little bit about yourself.
I do quite a few things. I'm a singer, a songwriter. I'm also a writer and an actor. I grew up overseas. I'm actually I'm a preacher's kid. I'm a missionary kid. So you get quite a lot of different viewpoints from things that I've seen across culturally in the arts. So okay. I'll try to be fair.
You'll try to be fair.
The female side of things.
The female side. Okay. All right. Now you got to be aware. Now sometimes, I call the female team out on their BS now. So
that's really fine.
That's fine. Okay.
I need some opportunity when it comes to calling out BS.
All right.
That's fine.
Well, that's fantastic. So we're going to get into some questions here and have. I'm going to do everything I can. I mean, most of these are directed directly towards men, but when I can, I'll spin this in a way where the male listeners, the 3 or 4 probably out there that's listening in, they can get some insight on this, okay? So the first question coming right out of the gate is being asked, what are guys most sensitive about? Okay. Ooh. Now, is this a question that women wonder about men?
I believe so, yes. Definitely. And if we don't wonder about it, we assume we know, or we think we know.
This will
be a good discussion here.
This is going to be a very interesting. So, you being a female, what do women think men are the most sensitive about?
We think. When anything that comes to pride in their work, pride in, the male ego is a very strong thing. I mean, the human ego, we all have that.
Yes.
But I think when it comes to women don't like being embarrassed or belittled. Men don't like that either, but it's seen as an ego and a pride thing. So anything that insults them as a strong, capable provider, that's what I would assume.
Really? Okay. I'm always going to make this as simple as I can. I'm going to be fair, be honest, representing the male team. Some men, there's a lot of men out there that can be sensitive about the size of their manhood, if I can say that as tactful as I can. Because men hear a lot of things. Unfortunately, men watch porn, and these guys in porn represent. We don't know what the hell that is. It's like these guys got baseball bats, and it's like okay, I'm not swinging that. So some men are sensitive about that, and then we always see these things where women are laughing about the fact that he wasn't big enough, or he's not big enough, or I saw something on Instagram which was a little disturbing, being a man, which it said that it was 87% of women wish their manhood was bigger than what it is. I was like, wow.
Ouch.
Oh,
Yikes.
yeah, because, men hear this stuff that so many women say, oh, it's not the size of the ship, it's this and this. But then you see a statistic like that, it's like, damn, are they really lying?
Well.
Man, we got crickets now. He's not chiming in.
No, I got some insight on that.
Okay.
Okay. So I,
Crickets?
I have dated both.
Okay.
And I find that men who are very well endowed,
Yeah.
are quite lazy when it comes to lovemaking, or because they think that's all that's necessary.
Ah. Okay.
So yeah, that's and then there are average, which really know what they're doing. So
Okay.
there's definitely some attentiveness and technique. So whether you're huge or not, it just you still need to pay attention to what you're doing.
Okay. So this is something that men are sensitive about, but I got to say probably the biggest thing that men are probably the most sensitive about is when I want to use the word achievement or success, and it's not necessarily like their overall achievement as the effort. If a man puts in effort to accomplish something and it doesn't meet his expectations, and this happens a lot in relationships. He puts in effort to try to either maybe do a special date, or, men are very bad about buying gifts because it's like, we walk in a store and we're just like blank. Like, well, what the hell do we get her? What does she like?
Yeah.
So women don't understand how much thought. I know it seems, men are very caveman and we don't think. I know how that comes off. But when men put in extra effort at anything, whether it be, I'm like on this weight loss journey. So it's whether it's my weight loss, whether it's me doing something in my business, whether it's me buying a gift, whether it's me trying to do something special for an anniversary. So men are the most sensitive about that. It's like they put in this extra effort and this brain power that they really don't want to use, okay, to try to do something nice or to do something special or to try to hit another goal. And whether they hit it or not, they're sensitive about the work that they put in and whether or not that work is good enough. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, that does make sense.
And if you really look at a lot of disappointments that happen with men or friction or whatever, it looks like on the surface it might be one thing, but if you really kind of dig deeper, it's the fact that he put in this effort to really do something good or nice, and it didn't really work out the way that he wanted to. And then sometimes that really adds injury to insult is after he's done that, he gets criticism that it still wasn't good enough. So on top of the fact he didn't feel like it was good enough, that can get validated with, no, it wasn't good enough, which makes him feel even worse. So I have to say that's probably the thing that makes men the most sensitive. And everything else you can just put it under the same tree, whether that be in the sexual department, whether that be he puts in effort to try to make more money for his career, whether that be he tries to make career moves, whether that be he tries to plan a special vacation, that because he wants those things to work well, and when they don't exactly work well, he feels like a failure. So I have to say that's probably the most sensitive thing. So next question, which is absolutely hilarious to me that this question is being asked.
Okay. Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that's absolutely hilarious. Why do men always come back for a booty call after the breakup?
Well, why do they? Why do men do that?
Or why do women think men do that?
I have not had that experience.
You haven't?
No. Well, hold on.
I'm about to throw the flag now. I'm about to throw the BS flag.
No, I'm thinking because when it's over, it's over.
Really?
But I've had some. Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me, and I know there's some listeners laughing at you right now, right? You're telling me that you've ended it with a guy, and after it was over, he never came back through?
There was an attempt. Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was like, no, it's over.
But
It's over.
you thought about it.
Oh, I didn't think about it. He came back and wanted to get busy, but
And you shut it. Hey guys, thank you for listening into the podcast. Hope you all are enjoying it. Taking a quick break, I wanted to make a special request. If you're enjoying what we're doing and you're getting something out of it, we are wanting to take this to a much, much larger format and a bigger part of a overall plan. I want you to please write Netflix, not write in Hulu, write to Amazon, write to Apple, and let them know that you're enjoying this. I have a overall vision of wanting to sign a multi-project deal. Several other things I have in development are coming out, and I want to like to get this as one of those larger formats. So if you enjoyed it, please put this out to Netflix. Let Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon know that you're enjoying the show and you think it would be good on one of their platforms. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, or Apple. Thank you very much. Bye. Down.
yes, I shut that down.
Okay. So it's never happened to you?
No. No.
It's never happened.
Probably because it takes a long time for me to get to the breakup. I forgive and stuff like that, and I'm no angel. I'm not even gonna claim that.
Right.
But when it is over, then it is over. That's been something I've had to stick to.
Really?
Or else, how long are you going to torture each other? Just, all right, cut the cord, move on.
Well, this is another answer that is really pretty simple. Why do guys come back after the breakup? And I know this is going to be very basic. Because the ex makes it available.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it in a nutshell. It's like, okay, you're going to allow this to happen, and it's familiar, right? So you don't have that awkwardness you have when you're first meeting someone and you don't really know what they like.
There is comfort in familiarity, even if that familiarity is toxic.
Yes, yes, because it's predictable, right? It's
that it's. Mm-hmm.
You go to certain restaurants and food chains because you know what you're going to get when you order it. I mean, it's it's okay. I know she likes this, and she knows I like this, and there's not that awkward feeling around in the dark. Is she cool with this? Is she not cool with that? That doesn't. So that's really the biggest reason. It's like, okay. Number one, as they say, he can, right? And I know that's bad, but
it's not bad. It is truth.
I mean, it's truth. I mean, it's like, okay, he can, first thing. And then the second thing is like, okay, it is familiar. It's like, okay, so I know this, and I know it's like a certain degree of certainty that he knows, they're going to do this, and they're going to hopefully get some kind of achievement out of it, right? So... they're going to accomplish something, I guess you could say, together. That's the reason why men tend to, they're susceptible to coming back. It's like, it's available and she's willing.
Well, women do it too.
Yeah.
Women do it too. And the reason why we do anything is it fills a need.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, though. How many women do it as a way to lure the guy back into the spider web?
Spider web.
Yeah, that's the word I'm using. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. We're not all Black Widows.
but honestly,
sex can definitely be
a weapon
factor in manipulation.
Okay,
but I think that goes both ways. Whether we're wanting something sexual fulfilled or just to be comforted, be held. People do crazy things just not to be alone with themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's another question. It seems like this question is coming up a lot. Is why do people let their pride stand in the way of a lot of things in a relationship? Now, that's a very interesting neutral question because I would like to hear the female answer to that.
Can you read that again, please?
Why do people let
the wording right?
Why do people let their pride stand in the way of a lot of things in their relationships?
I'd love to ask the person who asked this and get more details about this question. I would say, I mean, are you asking for my opinion on this?
You being a woman. I mean, there are a lot of women that are prideful, right? Ego.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've all got that pride. I think because we tie our pride to is directly tied to our self-esteem, our self-worth, and to be humble, to be. I mean, if we're talking if we're putting pride down in a healthy way, because we need to learn something, or we need to be humble, we need to be teachable. Why we don't do that is because we think changing anything means that we are a lesser person, that we weren't as intelligent as we thought we were, we weren't as successful as we thought we were. So I think on both sides it comes to a question of self-worth.
Okay. Now this is a good question that I am selfishly asking myself and representing the male team, the brothers, the bros, the brus, fellas. Why? This is a straightforward question. Why is it so hard for women to accept that they don't know everything? Why is that so hard for them to just admit they made a mistake?
Is it?
Chase, now come on. What did you just say?
Oh no. When something is certainly brought to my attention,
yeah,
and if we're talking about relationships, and let's make a giant leap and assume we're talking about a healthy relationship.
Okay.
Then we're talking. Then communication is really happening. There's a back and forth. There's an exchange. Someone's not talking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can be brought to an understanding that, okay. This isn't tied to me. This is tied to either a situation. This is really, I would really like to put this in a context, because I think this can go so many ways depending on what exactly we're talking about.
Chase.
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah.
Keeping it real?
I'm keeping it so real.
Chase.
I admit when I don't know idioms, because I didn't grow up here.
Okay.
You talk about
Chase,
looking like an idiot.
Chase.
I'm like,
Chase.
I don't know what that means.
Chase.
Yes.
You did a very good job at what so many women do, which is talking around the question. And I'm gonna repeat.
Did I?
Yes, you did. I'm gonna repeat the question in a little bit more simple way. Okay.
Okay.
Men want to know. I want to know. Representing the male team. Why is it so? Basically, why is it so hard for a woman to admit she's wrong, or she didn't get it right? Crickets, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to think of what exactly, are we talking about in everything?
Oh, come on. It's
In
a simple
everything?
it's a simple question. And I know you're representing the female team, okay? It's a simple question. Why is it so hard? Why are women so prideful that it's hard for them to admit they were wrong?
See, I don't understand that. I admit when I'm wrong. But if I am fighting something,
Yes.
it's because it is probably tied to what I think is my self-worth.
So
If that makes sense. If I'm being very defensive,
yes.
there's a reason for that defense. I think that this is you're not just arguing about a situation, you're arguing about something that I think is tied to my worth. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's a little bit insightful. So in other words, when people use the phrase "don't take it personal," women are taking the definitive point that if they're wrong, their value and self-worth is less.
Yes. Yes. It's the difference between, oh, I did something wrong, or I am wrong. Instead of, I made a wrong decision here. It's like, oh my God, I'm stupid. And like, no, I made a mistake. It's the difference right there that I think both sides need to learn.
Okay. All right.
Because you were talking earlier about women not appreciating the effort.
Yes.
I think that can also go both ways where,
a
guy comes home to a clean house.
No question.
Just assumes that that's always how
right. And men straight up.
Does that make sense?
Straight up, no games. Men, anything your woman does, even though you might assume it's a given, please give her props, because you are really screwing up on that. And you're messing it up for the male team. Quit being lazy. If you see your woman done some stuff, she cleaned the crib, she cooked you something, there was a woman last night talking about packing a lunch or something, okay? Look, if you're
that's sweet.
If your female is going that hard for you, whatever it is, even though you think it's a given, you need to give her props, because women do notice when you give them props, and women especially notice just as much when you don't. So men, bros, fellas.
And I honestly, I had to take that advice the other day when my guy just out of the blue washed my car for me, because I've been busy and my car was looking like crap. And so I was reading inside, and I walk outside and he was washing my car.
Yeah.
That was just, instead of thinking, oh, okay, well, no, that's what a couple should do. It's just, I put my book down, I went outside, I was like, can I help? Thank you so much. She didn't even ask me, you just did that.
Yeah, that's
so recognizing that that's not just something that should be, that's I hate to use that cliche phrase, that's a love language, but that's respect, that's care. That's something that I need to acknowledge and go, wow, that's pretty awesome. Thank you.
For sure. So real quick, this is a simple point of view from a man about pride. Men, we tie our pride to weakness. It's like if we admitting that we're wrong, I guess not necessarily in the realm of self-worth, but it's like if we have to humble ourselves, it's a hit to us that we might come off weak. And we're taught, whether it be society, whether it be, culture, TV, films, we're taught at a very young age, women aren't attracted to weak men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when we perceive weakness, and then again, there's a survival technique too. It's like, there's that animalistic part of us, men being predators. If a stronger predator senses weakness, well, now we're lunch. So, and all that, a lot of that is tied up into pride. That's it. I'm going to save this last question for our next show, because we're at 22 minutes and we're going to go ahead and wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, you want to text it in. The number is 813-534-0169. It's 813-534-0169. You can text in your question. You can call in your question.
Yes, give us questions.
Yeah,
I like those.
If you want to text it in, and whether it's men or ladies or it's neutral, it doesn't matter. This is Men's Secrets Exposed, so we're trying to give some insight to females about men, how men operate, how men think, and the whole point of this is just there's less arguments. Less arguments couples can have. Maybe it brings some closure to some ladies out there with some of their exes, and they've wondered why their dude did this or he did that. Whatever the case is, this is just to help, and indirectly this helps the male team, because if your woman understands you better, hopefully, brothers, fellas, bros, my dogs, y'all will have less arguments. And the less arguments there are, the better the things are, and the better the relationship is. So this is what this is about. I am violating a little bit of bro code here, pulling back the curtain and letting, women see kind of the inner workings of men. But overall, I really do feel like it's going to help. The number again is 813-534-0169. Text in your question, call in your question, leave it on a voicemail. We'll play it. We might hit you back and see if you want to be an actual live call on the show when we're doing a recording. So we appreciate all of you for listening. We're going to have all of the links to the social media outlets in our program notes. Feel free to check that out. Chase, you want to say anything else signing off?
I'm enjoying this, and I would encourage a lot of women to text in, send some questions, and keep this conversation going, because communication is the key here, and this is good. It's all right if it's pulling back the curtain. It's a good thing.
That's a good thing. All right, thank everybody for listening, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much. Like us, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. Enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.